Hey guys, so how's everyone doing? I hope you're well. Just really wasn't impressed with this Hyway big bore. You could tell in the video it just wasn't right. Don't get me wrong, it got faster with every cut the more I dialed it in. The very last cut, it was probably a second and a half, 2 seconds behind, still behind the other saw. And that's in like a 13-inch piece of wood. Something bigger, it's going to be even worse. But take note, this one was running a 7-pin to 24, and this is a milling chain that I had hand filed the angles back on. Don't get me wrong, it's sharp, it pulls, it cuts good. But this other saw is running a short bar with 8-pin. But it is a full chisel chain on that saw as well, so it's a lot more aggressive, and hence the 8-pin. But I don't think it would matter. I think same bar, chain, rim sprocket, the other saw was going to win regardless. Now this is a Nicosil cylinder with cabers, or it's going to take forever to break in. But I kind of went back into it. I was like, well, I think the muffler's got it choked down because it acted like something was just holding it back. I didn't even think to really check. Like I said, I put these things together. I didn't really rush it, but I bolted the muffler on, and it was actually covering on each side and at the bottom probably a good 1/16 of an inch of the port. And take note, I had that muffler matched to the other cylinder that was on it. It was a Farmertec, and you guys know I don't go crazy and hog the outside of the port out. I've done it in the past, but honestly ain't really seen any real gains from it. I mean, I'm sure there's some to be had depending on how radical the saw is, but for an old work saw, you really don't need to hog ports out. So what I done, I don't know if this phone will show, but you can kind of see back in there, you can still see our nice polished port and that Hyway piston. We've got it matched to the port. It's actually a little wider in places. That's fine. You just don't want any real restrictions there. A little bit would be okay on a work saw, but this was pretty substantial. And then what I've done here, and I'm not showing the other side because I'm a better grinder than I am a welder. Never have really been able to weld. It's more of an eyesight deal with me over a technique deal. I've said it before, I'm not blind to anything where there's like a low light situation. It just ain't really happening, but we've learned to booger weld stuff together over the years. But we've drilled it out, put in a piece of 3/4 inch pipe, got it booger welded in the back. I believe it'll be okay. I don't think it'll fall out. I have had them come loose, but I've never had one fall out. The main thing is just to get everything clean. And I'm using like a little cheap $70 welder from Harbor Freight, so it is what it is there. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause you guys, and hopefully the phone don't shut down before I get this muffler bolted on. We'll go over here and fire it up. I'll unpause you and see if I think that it feels any more snappy than it was yesterday, because honestly, some guy made a comment, said there's no way it would outcut a stock one. Well, I ain't gonna put no money on that myself. I kind of questioned it myself. I even said it, if you just bought one of these Hyway big bores and pulled your OEM cylinder off and bolted it on, and really the only thing we done was raise the uppers a couple of degrees. And that was mainly just to, pull the RPM band down just a little bit realistically, but they need moved a few more degrees. The intake port needs epoxied up. In all honesty, it needs about 40 cut out of the band, about 40 cut out of the base, but I'm not going to pay somebody to do that, and I'm not going to sit and sand that much out, so we'll end up fixing the intake port and decking a little more off of the base and pulling squish on down to, 20, 22 thou or so. It's at 25 right now with the gasket. And which, we don't know. This fixing the muffler may help it, but Yeah, you're probably right. Your stock one may have whipped it, but I don't know. It was moving over 2 seconds an inch in frozen hardwood, so, you know, it wasn't no slouch either. But I'm going to pause you guys and I'll bring you back shortly. Okay, guys, so we're back. I'm going to have to sit you down again. You'll have to forgive me. But I promise we'll pick you back up. This one, you know, it's a big bore top up. It's got pretty good compression. It's one of them. It's kind of drop, start it, and go. But I'll set you down here and try to remember to pick you guys back up so I don't destroy another $350 phone. Starts easy in cold weather. Alright, guys, so, I'm guessing it wanted a lot more muffler. There's no, you know, you guys watched it. This saw was not that snappy yesterday. You could rev it, and it just seemed like putting the bar and chain on it made it worse. The night I first got it together, it seemed alright here on the bench, but, she's sounding pretty dang good right now. Really like the way it sounds. That's just something I've done for a while, put the 3-inch pipe or 3/4-inch pipe in the front of them. I've done a 1/2 inch in some. It just depends on how large the existing port is. This one could have been opened up. I probably could have got to it pretty easy, but you know, you've seen these at the back of the muffler. Some people say that putting that pipe in there, and I've got it in the muffler probably an inch. Sometimes I go a little further. You know, if you get it good and tight, they say it'll have a scavenging effect. That's actually the only muffler I've got on that little John's Red that runs so good, but that thing's finger ported and everything. It's a screamer. Who knows how long it'll last, but it sure will tear up some hard maple. Completely off topic, but I took the Farmertec muffler, and you know how they come with that little, I don't even think it's a 3/8 inch pipe. It is tiny. I took a step bit and just cut that completely out, and you know, welded in a 3/4 inch, got it sealed up as tight as I could get it, and you can just tell. You'll hear people say the muffler will have pull, I guess. I'm sure a tuned exhaust feels way different, but I think that muffler contributes to a lot why that saw was ran so good. I've done a couple of the other Farmertec mufflers different on 372s, and I kind of wish I hadn't, because I think they would have performed better with just one big single pipe coming out of the muffler, but who knows, it could just be me. But You should be able to see it shining over there. We went and got us a 10-foot section of 1.25 pipe. Play around with. I've ordered a bend. The other saw that runs so good. I'm really anxious to run them again against one another. I think that muffler just woke this one up a lot, but it's kind of weird. I'm assuming the exhaust port on the other saw was a lot bigger, being the muffler was already ground out and opened up to it, and the first thing I do with those is usually cut the baffle out of them. Except for the OEM mufflers, it's kind of hard to find the spot welds in those, especially if they're really old, but I've got some other stuff I do with those. I cut them out to where they flow really good, but I don't know, you guys let me know what you think. Does it sound any better? I'm going to try to get to the property tomorrow, maybe Sunday, both. I've lost a headband and the cage for my GoPro. Have no idea where it's at. I've got another cage here, I think. Maybe I can get some kind of mount strapped on or something somehow. Video a little bit of footage of these things cutting. I don't have anything big but those big ugly crotches down at the bottom section of the property, and honestly that's the only reason I brought them in, was to bring saws and test them. They just keep setting up and getting harder and harder to cut, so kind of shows the saw's worth, I guess. But I'll quit running my mouth. It's really cold. It's in the 20s out here. I've got another little video. It ain't really a product review, but an item that the company had sent me, and we're going to put together a little video on that and show you. And I've got the saws here from Calvin. The first one I'm going to do is on the 441. I'll try to show you guys some of it, but when I get to the 395, we may do something a little different, kind of like we've done with some of the other saws. Maybe pull it down on camera and give you guys a look, but it just all depends on, how I'm feeling and, what kind of mood I'm in. Sometimes you're in the mood to video, and sometimes you just don't want anything to do with it, but sometimes you just need to concentrate. So I hope you guys understand, but as always, thank you guys. Y'all stay warm and have a good one.